Hey, want to talk about an issue that I feel strongly about. Most of the videos I upload, I feel strongly about. CNN's just reported yet another police incident, this time at a high school in South Carolina. And what the video shows is basically the officer body slamming a 15-year-old girl. Um, Apparently, what happened was the officer came into the class when the girl refused to leave. I haven't found any information about why she refused to leave. But basically, as this guy is doing this, the other students and the teacher just watch. They do absolutely nothing. Um, Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott told local media the confrontation stemmed from the student's refusal to leave the classroom. The student was told she was under under arrest for disturbing school and given instructions which she again refused, Lott said. The video then shows the student resisting and being arrested by the SRO. Um, Now, according to the two people that appeared on CNN, I didn't catch their names. I think they represented a civil rights group. They said that this particular officer, his name hasn't been disclosed yet. According to this report, this particular officer been had a track record of violence and being out of control. And they were asking the question, why was he allowed to work in the school? I assume this is a situation where the officer is assigned to the school. I know in some American schools that's the case. The video which I'll post here is pretty disturbing. This is the thing, right, that gets me. People always say, well, you don't know the full context based on a video. It's true that we don't know the whole story, and it's true that you can't hear the dialogue that's taken place before. But I see absolutely no conceivable context based on the video that justifies this guy's actions. As far as I'm concerned, they were the actions of a thug who knows that he's immune from the law. And I do believe that American police are pretty much above the law in most cases. He's been put on desk duty, of course. He should have been arrested, as far as I'm concerned, for assault. Um, that's never going to happen. Not anytime soon. Um, the only thing worse than police brutality is the absolute morons who make excuses for it. Because as soon as you have people defending that, that is a sure step towards tyranny. And America is heading down a path. I've argued this before. It really is no better than police states like Egypt, like other authoritarian countries where police have absolute power. In America, police essentially have absolute power. I get really angry when I see comments like, "Oh well, if she had complied, it wouldn't have happened," and so on. Um, so sort of this mentality of because he's wearing a uniform, he must be right. Now, let's say for a second the girl was doing something she shouldn't have been doing. Let's say that I don't know, she was being disruptive or whatever. The video certainly doesn't show that. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that she was. What would have been wrong with engaging with her and finding out what the problem was? What would have been wrong with kind of getting her to get up from the chair and leading her out of the classroom? That officer could have done a whole range of things other than what he'd done. And you have to be frankly stupid to not see that. I mean, it's as plain as black and white, as light as day and night. It's you know the reason this shit continues. I think there's two reasons. Firstly, is that there is a situation where the police are essentially above the law. He'll be put on desk duty and he'll be exonerated. He might get a minor ticking off because I don't believe that there is enough good police in America that want to change the situation. I believe there are some. I believe there are some who know that there is a problem and want to change, but I believe at this time they're in the minority. I believe it's camaraderie. Let's all stick together. And they'll say what sounds good to the press. So they'll say, "Oh, we're troubled by this incident, and make an investigation, and all the rest of it," and it will lead to nothing. Um, I think it's a powder keg situation in America right now. And South Carolina's got a bad reputation for this. You know, it wasn't so long ago the guy was shot in the back. Um, the caveat I make to all these videos when I discuss these issues is that I know the police have a tough job, but they are also in a position of responsibility. And the way America's going is a situation whereby even questioning something will be considered resisting arrest. Now, we don't know why this girl was being arrested in the first place. It would be useful for the police department to reveal that information so people can make a fair judgment. But I suspect it's more likely that this is just another thug who lets the power of his uniform get to his head and thinks he can do whatever he wants. Let's be clear about this. This is a grown man body slamming a teenage girl. Nothing excuses that. Nothing. She didn't have a weapon. She wasn't posing any threat to him. She wasn't apparently posing any threat to the other students, certainly not via the video. And if that was the case, the Sheriff Department should say so. They haven't said that. I think it's a complete and utter disgrace. But just as disgraceful as what has happened is the absolute fools who make excuses for it. Come out with things like, oh, if she just complied, you know, I don't understand the mentality of people who rush to defend the police in every single case. Now, if this had been an armed gang member, that'd be totally different. I'd have complete sympathy with the officer. But this was an unarmed 15-year-old girl. Even if she was being mouthy, even if she was being disrespectful, he could have dealt with that in a much different way. I'm not surprised a large proportion of the African American community is utterly disillusioned and angry. I don't agree with all the approaches that, for example, Black Lives Matter use, but they definitely have an argument. And I do believe it's out of control. Frankly, America doesn't strike me as a safe country because if it isn't gun fanatics shooting up schools, then it's out of control cops. And that police department should be aware that this story is going around the world tonight. And the very fact that all they can do is put the guy on desk duty just shows their attitude. It shows they're not taking it seriously despite what they claim. If they were taking it seriously, he would be arrested for assault. As far as I'm concerned, this indicates that police are above the law. And I'm fairly sure that nothing's going to happen to him. He might be off frontline duty for a short time. Nothing else is going to happen because it's always the case. This really makes me angry because there is no conceivable context in that video that justifies the actions he took. If it had been a case that the girl had a weapon and she'd violently threatened the officer or something like that, then I think they would have announced that. So I think there's something going on here. I think they know full well that this guy overreacted, but they're trying to save face. And it's a shameful, shameful thing. You know, one of the absolute central tenets of democracy is that the police are there to protect and serve the public. But too often in the United States of America and in other countries, it's not only America, it has happened in other countries as well. You have a situation where you have sociopaths who think that because they're wearing a uniform, they're Robocop. They could do what they want. Obviously, this guy fits into that category. Obviously, he's a thug. And, you know, if I had a girlfriend, a cop treated her like that, I'd be in prison or I'd be dead because I would not hold back. I would not hold back. It would mean me getting beaten to a pulp. It would mean me landing in a prison cell. But if I inflicted pain on a man like that, it would be worth it. Because as far as I'm concerned, anyone who uses their power and authority to abuse that position is scum. And shame on those defending him. There is no context that justifies what he done. Nothing.